strength in keeping your mouth closed, a rare kind of power in withholding the deepest parts of your journey, and there is a sacred wisdom in knowing that not every chapter of your story must be read aloud to an audience that hasn't earned the right to hear it. You see, people often believe that telling others about their struggles, their dreams, and their private wounds will gain them empathy, support, and understanding. But more often than not, what they get in return is judgment, envy, or worst of all, indifference. Not everyone who listens to your story is rooting for you. Some listen only to measure how far you've come, so they can secretly hope you fall back again. You must come to realize that the path to greatness is lonely not because people are evil, but because your vision was not planted in their soul. It was planted in yours, and what is sacred must first be protected. When a seed is planted in the soil, it is not exposed to the world. It is buried, hidden, kept in the dark, not because it's being punished, but because it needs that solitude to break open. And so do you. Your story is not entertainment. Your scars are not a show. Your setbacks are not public property. They are sacred lessons, forged in the furnace of your life's fire. And the moment you put them on display before they are fully understood, you rob yourself of the power those experiences are meant to give you. So many people fail not because they don't have talent, not because they don't have the drive, but because they talk too much. They speak their plans before they've even taken the first step. They announce their intentions to a crowd of ears that don't care, and hearts that never supported them in the first place, and when things fall apart, they wonder why the laughter is louder than the applause. Silence is your shield. Privacy is your power. You must understand, the moment you tell someone your dream, you invite their opinion into your world, and most people don't dream big. So what do? They try to shrink yours. They clip your wings, not because they're stronger than you, but because they've already given up on themselves. Guard your vision like a flame in the wind. Too much exposure, and it flickers out. You don't need validation from the crowd. You don't need the applause before the performance. You don't need someone to clap for the seed that hasn't even sprouted. Prove it to yourself in silence, through action, through sweat, through midnight battles no one sees. One of the most powerful things you can do in life is to become so rooted in your mission that you no longer need to speak about it. Your results will be your voice. Your success will be your testimony. And your transformation will speak louder than 1,000 explanations ever could. There are people right now watching your life like it's a story they're entitled to know. They smile to your face and dig into your past. They ask questions not out of care, but curiosity. They want to know what's going wrong, not what's going right. They are invested in your delay. They cheer when you're distracted. They want you to remain where you are, because it justifies where they've chosen to stay. So why give them fuel? Why feed the fire of small minds with the gold of your future? Learn to love the silence. Learn to cherish the private victories. Learn to value the unseen grind. There is something beautiful about being underestimated. Something noble about doing the work in the shadows and letting the world see only the glow of the finished result. You owe no one an explanation for your struggle. You don't need to broadcast your pain to prove you're real. You don't need to narrate your entire journey to get people on your side. Let them wonder, let them guess, let them talk, and while they're talking, you're building. There are people who talk their lives away, and then there are those who live. Don't let your mouth move faster than your feet. Don't let your words outpace your growth. You don't need to shout what you're about to do. Just do it, silently, powerfully. Consistently, because when it's done, they'll see it. Every great achiever has passed through a season of quiet, a season where no one believed, no one clapped, no one noticed. That's not punishment, that's preparation. Silence is where clarity is born. When the noise of the crowd fades, the voice of God becomes clearer, and in that voice you will hear your next move. So guard your story, not out of fear, but out of faith. Faith that it is still being written, faith that the author of your life has not finished his best chapter yet, faith that when the time is right the world will see the masterpiece, but not before it's complete. Some things are too precious to be spoken. Some callings are too deep to be described, and some victories are so divine they don't need a narrator. They just need time. You don't owe the world your story. You owe the world your results. Let them talk while you work. Let them doubt while you rise. Let them sleep while you build, and one day, when they see the person you've become, they'll wonder how you did it. And you'll smile because you know you didn't do it for the spotlight. You didn't do it for their attention. You didn't do it to be seen. You did it because it was written in your spirit, and for that, you stayed silent, but you never stopped moving. You see, the greatest storms in life don't announce their arrival. They brew quietly, gather force in silence, and by the time they appear, it's already too late for anyone to stop them. And that's how your success should be: quiet, powerful, unstoppable. Don't speak about your goals, live them. Don't broadcast your intentions, embody them. People should feel something different in your presence, even if they can't quite explain it. There should be a fire in your eyes that says, I'm not here to impress, I'm here to impact. Most people trade progress for praise. They want to be seen more than they want to be successful. They are addicted to attention. And so they talk, they post, they share every move, but while they're busy explaining, they're not executing. The truth is, talking is easy, doing is rare. Anyone can describe the dream, but only a few are willing to die to become it. If you knew how many people were secretly hoping you'd fail, you'd stop sharing your plans and start protecting them like treasure. If you understood how many smiling faces hide skeptical hearts, you'd learn to let your silence be your defense. Silence builds focus. It strengthens your inner world, and in this world you need that strength, because every time you open your mouth to describe the life you're building, you invite energy, positive or negative, into that process. And some of that energy comes with weight, doubt, delay, distraction. Keep your hands busy and your lips sealed. Let your passion become your fuel and your peace become your strategy. While the rest of the world screams for attention, you'll be preparing to deserve it. You'll begin to understand that your real audience is not the crowd, it's the creator. And when you're working for something bigger than applause, the distractions disappear, the noise fades, the need to be seen evaporates. And all that remains is the mission. Most people don't understand silence. They interpret it as weakness, insecurity, even guilt. Let them wonder what you're thinking, what you're doing, what you're planning. Let your life confuse those who tried to predict your outcome. You must become comfortable with being misunderstood. You must become strong enough to walk alone while carrying a vision that the world says is too big. You must become wise enough to know when to speak, and more importantly, when to stay silent. There is a power that builds in silence, a kind of spiritual gravity that pulls everything you need toward you without you saying a word. But it only happens when you stop leaking your energy into every conversation, every platform, every listener. Your story isn't finished, so why rush to narrate it? Let it unfold with divine timing. Let the pen stay in your hand, not in someone else's. Too many people give their power away by letting others interpret their journey. And the more you explain, the more control you surrender. Stop explaining your pain, use it. Stop retelling your failures. Learn from them, stop asking for permission to rise, just rise. You don't have to justify why you've gone silent, why you've cut back on conversations, why you've stepped into isolation. Growth doesn't require explanation. And your future will never fit into your past relationships. Not everyone is meant to come with you, and not everyone is meant to understand you. Silence gives you space to evolve. It gives you distance from the noise and clarity about your next move. It reconnects you with purpose and frees you from the prison of public opinion, because if you live for their approval, you'll die from their rejection. Your story is sacred, and sacred things aren't thrown to the masses. They're guarded, hidden, honored. You are not obligated to share every chapter with the world, especially the unfinished ones, People can't destroy what they don't know exists. They can't block what they can't see coming. So let your next move be so silent, so subtle, so disciplined, that by the time they recognize it, it's already too late to stop it. They'll ask where you went. You didn't disappear. You developed. They'll ask why you stopped talking. You didn't quit. You focused. They'll ask how you did it. You didn't shout. You executed. Silence is not absence. It is presence without noise. It is movement without announcement. It is power without permission. And it is one of the greatest tools you will ever possess, because once you stop telling everyone your story, you start writing it for real. Some of the most powerful people in the world walk softly. They say little. They don't reveal the full extent of their thoughts, not because they're hiding weakness, but because they're holding power. The one who speaks less often observes more, learns more, builds more, and when they act, it's not impulsive, it's deliberate, it's precise, it's unstoppable. When you become the type of person who no longer needs to tell your story to be seen, you enter a different level of discipline, a different level of alignment. Your energy is no longer scattered across opinions, praise, or pity. It's concentrated, laser-focused, untouchable. There is a reason the lion doesn't roar before it strikes. It moves in silence, waits in stillness, calculates with instinct, and only when the moment is perfect, it pounces. That's how you must move in this season of your life. Quiet, intentional, exact. You're not here to convince people you're going somewhere. You're here to arrive, and when you arrive, you won't need to explain how you got there. Your presence will speak volumes. Your discipline will radiate. Your glow will announce what your words once tried to describe. Some will be inspired, others will be intimidated, but either way, it won't matter. Because you didn't do it for them. You'll know you're growing when silence no longer makes you anxious, when solitude becomes your friend, when you can sit with your vision and feel full, even when no one else understands it. That's the place where greatness is formed, in the quiet, in the still, in the dark soil where seeds transform into destiny. There's a trap in constantly sharing your life, an invisible chain that keeps you dependent on reactions. You begin to need the likes, the comments, the acknowledgement, and before you know it, you're no longer doing it for the outcome. You're doing it for the attention. That is not purpose. That is performance. And purpose doesn't beg for applause. It thrives in silence. It grows in the unseen, and it shows up when the world least expects it. Train yourself to hold your vision so close to your chest that no storm can shake it loose. Train yourself to walk through fire without broadcasting the heat. Let your scars heal in peace. Let your breakthroughs happen behind closed doors. Let your becoming happen where no one can interrupt it. People will always have opinions. They'll question your silence. They'll try to interpret it. They'll try to provoke you out of your process. But you must remember, this is your journey, not theirs. Your silence is not for them. It's for your future. There are things inside you right now, ideas, dreams, callings, that are still forming, still developing, and like a baby in the womb, they require protection. You don't expose what's still growing. You cover it, you guard it, you give it time, and when the time is right, you won't need to speak. Your success will be the announcement. Your peace will be the evidence. Your life will say what your mouth never could. Until then, stay quiet, stay focused, stay low, not because you're hiding, but because you're building. Keep doing the work when no one is watching. Keep rising early, studying late, praying deeper, sacrificing more. And say nothing. Let the silence shape you. Let the solitude refine you. Because when the day comes that your preparation meets your opportunity, the world won't ask for your story. They'll witness it. So from this moment forward, make a vow to yourself. Not to the world, not to your friends, not to the crowd, but to yourself, that you will no longer give away pieces of your story to those who haven't earned the right to hold it. Keep your silence sacred. Let your discipline speak. Let your consistency speak. Let your transformation be the loudest thing about you. You don't need to be understood. You don't need to be seen. You need to become. Because in the end, it won't be your explanations that make history. It will be your results. It won't be your announcements that echo through time. It will be the quiet, relentless work that no one saw coming. Let the world feel your presence, not through your words, but through your becoming. Speak less, move more, tell less, build more, show nothing, until it's everything.